Okay, hi everyone. So here's a very quick workshop wrap up. So we've tried to show you in the last 3 days that ViewPathDB brings together data and tools in this unique way, because after all, data is the most important product of research, and we try to promote good science by promoting FAIR data principles, which is making data more findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. So we've covered so much in the past 3 days, and I just want to summarize it in 6 take-home messages for all the participants. The first one is that we looked at gene pages, and gene pages are something that you might keep coming back to because they are absolutely encyclopedic. One thing I will point out is that our sections here, you'll see that there are sections within sections. So always when you see this little icon, open up the sections. You will find a lot of information there, and use the search boxes to look for things that you're interested in. So gene pages are something to keep in mind. The second take-home message is our searches. So we have a lot of searches. These are our data mining tool. If you get time, go ahead and review all the searches. Again, open up expand all. If you click expand all, it opens up the whole tree, and review all the searches. There are literally dozens of them, and they're very useful for finding the kind of data that you are interested in for your particular question. We also showed you that you can upload your own data privately to search in context of larger ViewPathDB data. The third is strategies. So these are in silico experiments that you can do by mining the data in the searches. And you can start to use Boolean operators to put together these searches in very creative ways. So this is a great tool for hypothesis generation. Next, we spent a lot of time looking at the genome browser. It's a dynamic web platform. You can visualize genomes, you can analyze gene models, and weigh omics evidence. So all that is possible very intuitively in the genome browser. One thing to keep in mind is that everything that we've done, the tools and searches, are available on different ViewPathDB platforms. So it is a common infrastructure, and we may have focused on certain databases for certain exercises, but please know that these will be available wherever possible in other platforms. Finally, I want to point out that this can all be a little overwhelming. So please know that help is available in different forms. So the first one is our user interface has a lot of help embedded within it. So everywhere you see a filter box like this, it's a great way to start putting in some terms and filtering it down to things that you are interested in. The other thing is these little icons, a blue circle with a question mark, those are help sections, and you can click on it to give you tips to use our tools. The second thing is we have plenty of content. So again, in the header, look under the help section, and you'll see FAQs, webinars, workshops, tutorials. These are all available to you at all times to learn about particular tools. Finally, if you have a question that you can't find the answer to easily, just go ahead and use the Contact Us button in the header, send us an email, or email directly to help@viewpathdb.org, and one of our team will get back to you. So please know that help is always available. But wait, there's a little bit more that we did not cover during this workshop that I just want to touch on because some of you may be interested in it. So this is our, whole string of icons, all the platforms that ViewPathDB supports. We talked about almost all of them. Here are 3 that we did not touch upon that I want to mention here. The first is HostDB. This is what it looks like. It looks like our other pathogen platforms, but it is the platform that hosts pathogen interactions. So you might have a question like, can I identify host genes that were differentially regulated in response to infection by different pathogens? This is the kind of question that can be answered on HostDB. So we do have tutorials related to these questions, which you can go and do on your own if it's of interest. The second platform I want to show you is ClinEpiDB, and this is what it looks like. ClinEpiDB is our platform for clinical and epidemiological data. It's a little different from all of our other platforms, but very interesting. It hosts global health studies and trials. What I really want to point out here, though, is that it has an exploratory data analysis platform that is extremely powerful and just plain cool, if you ask me. You can go ahead and take a look at it if you like. The other thing that I want to point out, even if you have absolutely no interest in clinical or epi data, is we have a section there for uploading your own data set, which can be any flat file, no matter what the subject matter of that flat file is. What it will allow you to do is to browse all the variables in your data and use our graphical tools to start looking at, making graphs and tables from your own data. And this is all, again, in a private workspace. So if you have any interest at all in this platform, again, write to us. We can schedule a demo for you. Finally, the last platform I want to talk about is MicrobiomeDB, which, as the name suggests, it's for interrogating microbiome experiments. And this platform similarly has a beautiful exploratory data analysis platform where you can mine microbiome data in the context of metadata. It has a lot of tools built into it, also has a place to upload your own data privately and work with it. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for your attention, and we can continue with general questions.
Great, thank you, Nupur. So yeah, this is the end of the workshop. Congratulations to all of you who stuck through it. I know it's tough, especially in a virtual world. And so we will be sending out an email later this afternoon, which will include a link to a survey, which we request everybody to take some time and fill up. It's actually a very short survey, and those really help us improve these workshops. And so we'd love to hear from you. We'll also include the link to the, obviously, workshop material, and also there'll be a link to where you can retrieve a certificate if you need one for your work, or if you want to print it out and frame it on, and put it up in your office. But this will be available to you in case you need that. So with that, I think I'll open the floor to anybody else who wants to say anything, and also if you have any questions. But of course, if you are done, you're welcome to also sign off. And thank you, everybody who are putting chats in the messages in the chat. Really appreciate those. Thank you.
We'll look forward to seeing your feedback. Obviously, today's workshop and exercises were a little bit different from the previous 2 days in that I assume that no one was able to get through all of the exercises that were provided in the time that was specified for the breakout groups. That's by design, because there's a great deal of functionality that you may not be familiar with. So we encourage you to work through those on your own, but we're also happy to answer any specific questions or go back to any of those you'd like at this time, as well as taking any other questions you may have.
Hey, Dr. Omar.
Yes.
I just say, thank you for the course. Actually, you introduced the basics, and now this database is leading every side. Either we are working on the fungus, on the big eukaryotes, prokaryotes, it's going everywhere. And I think it's very helpful. Thank you to you and your team. And I say congratulations, you are doing amazing job.
Great. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. There's a lot of people who work behind the scenes on this project, and I agree. We enjoy working for the project, and it's great that we have a community like all of you who are engaged and interested. I think the more you're engaged with us, the more we are interested in. The more energy we have to do some hopefully useful things for you. So.
And the better we can prioritize what we do to make sure that they meet the actual needs of actual users.
So I'm seeing there's some questions coming up as well. So question about the genome browser. I'd like to upload a new genome assembly from my lab. So if you want to upload a genome assembly in your own private workspace to visualize a new genome assembly in the genome browser, that's currently not available. we hope one day we'll reach that point, but right now we are not there. There are some things you can do to get you close to it, but you can't. At least right now, there is no way to upload a new genome assembly in your own private environment. There are many other tools out there that allow you to do that, and we're happy to discuss some of those if you would like. Including there's a standalone version of JBrowse 2 that you can download on your computer, and then download different tracks from ViewPathDB and other sources and upload them, but that's a little bit more work. What we would love to get to one day is a place where you can, upload your assembly and it puts it into your dataset page, just like you were able to upload an RNA-seq analysis, and then, launch a browser and load that genome in a way that's useful to you. So at the moment, we don't have a tool to provide that, at least in the form that you're asking for.
Let me also address a question that was raised about citation. There's a link in the chat about how to get access to links for citations and publications. Please also be sure to include the name of databases in your publications, just including the name ViewPathDB or Vectorbase or FungiDB or whatever may be most appropriate to your use. Helps us to track usage because those terms are text indexed in Google Scholar searches. And that same page also provides downloadable images for all of our database logos, which we encourage you to include on acknowledgement slides. Just as on an acknowledgement slide, you may include a list of investigators who provided reagents or funders. If ViewPathDB resources are important to your work, please include that on the acknowledgement slide so that everyone recognizes what the value of these resources is.
There's another question about if you want to explore the ortho exercise, whether we should be using the beta version 7 or 6. I think that, as it stands right now, our links from our genomic sites to OrthoMCL are still going to Ortho 6, and that is because Ortho 7 is in beta. And so some of the exercises will, you just won't be able to do some of the steps as easily. There won't be a direct link, but almost everything is reproducible in Ortho 7 if you're able to just copy the ID and find it in Ortho 7. We would love to hear more feedback about Ortho 7. So if you end up trying the exercise and doing it in Ortho 7, there is a survey actually that's available through the OrthoMCL 7 website, and we would love to hear feedback from there. Ortho 7 will become the main OrthoMCL website, hopefully not in the too distant future. So and we all agree, at least internally, that Ortho 7, the results in Ortho 7 and its functionality are superior to OrthoMCL 6. So in our opinion, it is the wave of the future as far as the OrthoMCL lineage of databases goes.
And that includes the changes in OrthoMCL include both infrastructural changes that Stuart described, and in terms of the way the algorithms are run and the way the alignments are computed. And they also include visualization differences, such as the representation of phylogenetic trees and identification of related groups. Some things have changed from OrthoMCL 6, such as the cluster diagrams, which we believe are much better reflected by the phylogenetic trees and indication of similar groups. But if you have additional information that you would like to see that you think is not represented in OrthoMCL 7, or that doesn't work properly for you, like the failure to identify an old group in the search that we discussed, please do click on the Contact Us link and send that in so that we can make sure that it is as functional as possible before it becomes the live site. questions that people would like to raise.
I think it sounds like we're approaching a plateau here where obviously we'll stay on a couple more minutes if anybody else has questions, but if you're done, feel free to sign off. As mentioned, everything has been recorded, and we'll update the recordings for today's sessions later this evening. They should be up by tonight. So thank you, everybody. Yeah, nice seeing everybody.